Simple Aviation, he asks, are pitches in India and Australia becoming too arbitrary? Well, yes they are. For me, I think each venue around the globe should have its own characteristics. So as a player, you have a fair idea of what to expect when you arrive at that venue. For me, pitches are becoming too same in each country. Good question there, Simple Aviation. Avish Banerjee, he's come out and said that Australia were too defensive in the first test match, too aggressive in the second test match. How should they go about facing spin in the third test match? Well, firstly, you've got to have good defense when you first come out and trust it, and get as far forward as you possibly can when you're defending on the front foot, and as far back onto the stumps defending off the back foot so that you can go with the spin. And once you've started to find the turn and the pace of the pitch, then you can start to be aggressive. When you see the flight in the air, you get the dancing shoes on and you get as far down the pitch as you possibly can to try and negate the spin and to try and get to a position where you can drive the ball. You're better off being stumped 3 meters out of your crease rather than 2 inches. So be positive. When you're on the back foot and you're aggressive, make sure you get as far back as you possibly can, but go with the spin, work the ones and twos. If it's short, then you can play the pulls and cuts and make sure you put it away, and go to the sweep sparingly. The sweep shot's there just to put the bowler off his line and length. Other than that, don't play it too much. Use your feet wisely. Good question. Jagveer Chahar asks, how should Australia approach Jadeja and Ashwin in this third test match? Well, I virtually answered that question in the previous question, but there's one thing that I will add. When you're defending, make sure you get beaten on the outside edge rather than the inside edge. You want to limit the chances of getting bowled and LBW. If you get caught off the outside edge, well, at least you've limited the options of getting out. That's the only thing that I would add. Gokul Rama, he asks a controversial question: should Rahul get dropped for Gill in this third test match? I never ever want to drop Rahul. I think he's been a fantastic contributor to Indian cricket. He's been put in so many different roles and he's achieved so much, but his form at the moment presents a problem, and I think you need someone a little bit more aggressive out the top of the order just to take on the Australian bowling attack and try and get the momentum in your favour in the innings. So I would actually bring in Gill, who's in a bit of form at the moment, in front of Rahul. When you has an opportunity of taking a spot of someone who's experienced to add more exposure at test level, you've got to do it, and this is the time for Gill. Atar Baral, how are you going? You asked the big question: will the Bazball effect work in India against India? Well, I think it will. They play a good, positive brand of cricket. They know how to use their feet to get down the wicket. They know how to play off the back foot, and they're very good with the sweep. So they've got a lot of scoring options, and that aggressiveness to try and put the Indian spin attack off their line and length will pose a bit of a problem and will challenge India. I'm looking forward to this series, and that will be the time that we see whether it works or not. I think it will work, and it's going to be a close contest. Good question, Atal.